Alrighty, here in the country I was born in, we're required to have a GFI receptacle or a GFI breaker in the box for any outlets that's within 6 feet of the sink in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and outdoors, and of course around swimming pools. And what we're going to do is we have a line coming in with the power, and then a line going out that's protected by this GFI that we're going to put in here, that are all the outlets within 6 feet of the sink, plus we have another one on the other side of the kitchen that's further away from the sink, more than 6 feet, and it does not have to be GFI protected. And I'm going to show you how to hook this up so that some outlets are protected by the GFI and the ones that are not required to be protected are not protected by the GFI. So first we will get all our ground wires together here. You want to get them so that they are all down in the bottom and not tangled up. So we have 3. So we will just go ahead and we'll twist these together. Make sure you don't get the one you're going to use caught inside. So we're going to clip these 2 off here. And now we'll put what's called a crimp sleeve on our ground wires. And we use a crimper. We'll stick it in our crimper like this. And you slide it over the wires. Make sure you see all of them come through the end here. Then you just squeeze it down like this. And you'll get a nice straight crimp like that right there. And now we'll get our wires stripped. We'll clip them all to the same length here. Okay, now we'll get our wires separated so we know which ones are coming in and going out. So we have this black and white is going out. And now we have this black and white. Okay, this white. And we got to find which black and white is coming in and which one is going out. So this is going out, and this is not going to be protected by the GFI. This one is going to be either the live, and this one's going to be the one going out, which is GFI protected. So we're going to leave our wires separated here, and we're going to go get turn our circuit breaker on. And we're going to use our multimeter. We're going to put it on 200 volts, and we're going to find if it's this pair that's live or if it's this pair that's live. So we'll go turn our breaker on. Okay, so we'll touch our wires with our probes here. I believe it's these two, and it is these two here, so that's going to be our power coming in. Now we'll go shut our breaker off. Okay, we shut it off. So this is our ones that are coming in, and these are gonna go. You'll look at the back. It'll say load, and it'll say lines. We're gonna hook this black and white line up here. So here in the country I was born in, your black wire goes on the brass screw. Your white wire goes on the silver screw. The neutral's the wide slot with the T slot if it's a 20 amp receptacle, and it's the silver screw. The brass screw is the live, and that's the narrow slot. And this is another, just a different brand. And it says load up here, and it says line down here. The silver again is the wide slot. The brass is the narrow slot. And this is a 15 amp. Notice it does not have the T slot, and this is on a 15 amp circuit, so we're going to use a 15 amp one. So we'll look at our back, make sure we get our line. So we're going to put our black from the line under our brass terminal. Yeah, it's a brass terminal, so we'll put our black from the brass. And this is the one that is going to be GFI protected, and this is going to be the one that's not GFI protected. So we're going to put this black and this black up here, and you can see the copper's a little bit long. So we'll shorten this up a little bit. So the oops, wait a minute. Okay, so this is the one that's not going to be protected, and this is the one that's the power. So we're going to put it on our black line. Oh, that's still a little long here, so we'll shorten this up a little bit. Okay, so this is the black coming in and feeding the outlet that's not protected. Now this is the one we're going to feed that is protected downstream, so we're going to put it in right here. Okay, and it's a little bit long. So we'll shorten it up some. Now we'll take our white wire from the one that is being, this is the line one coming in, and this is the load one going out. So we'll put our load one going out down here. So you got to make sure you open your screw. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we have our white line and our white one that's not protected downstream, and we'll put them up here on our line side. So we'll have to shorten that one up a little bit. And that one's okay. You don't want them too long. Alrighty. So we get our wire into our hole the way we want it. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now we stick our ground wire, which we have all together here, and we will put it under our pressure plate up here. There it is. And make sure it goes up in all the way there. Make sure it's up under the pressure plate, and there's a little hole up in here. So you just want to make sure it's in that hole all the way. And you hold it with your thumb and you just push up, make sure it goes in all the way. Make sure it's nice and tight. And now we can fold our wires into our box. So we'll keep our wires going like this. And we'll keep our ground wires down on the bottom like this so that they don't get in the way of our live terminals. So just make sure it goes back here all the way. You're just not going to touch anything, and we'll just put our device into the wall. You want to make sure, see how the ground wire is getting knotted up under the bottom here? You got to make sure you get it back. There it is. Okay, now it's going where we want it to go. You want it to sit nice and flat, and make sure our ground wire moved out again. So we're going to take our pliers and push it back a little bit, shape it so it stays away from our terminals here. There it is. Now it's away from all of our terminals. We'll just make sure nothing's forced or anything, but just nothing's in the way, so we'll just Tighten it down all the way. And we'll look and make sure it's straight on our box here. We'll loosen this bottom one up. We'll slide it over so it's nice and straight. Make sure it's nice and snug here. Alrighty, we'll just stick our cover on. So that is how to wire a GFI receptacle without using a whole bunch of wire nuts and being able to put 2 wires under one terminal where it's designed to do that. And I'll show you again on this other brand. You can see how it has a little notch for 2 wires on the pressure plate and the 2 slots on the terminals. That's the only time when you can put 2 wires under one screw, is when a terminal is designed like this. Peace. Thanks for watching.